Don Trump Jr., or as we call him here, Fredo, is living up to the Fredo nickname. It's being reported that he did receive an email informing him of a Russian effort to aid his dad's campaign. And that's something he's been saying, no, that's a lie pushed by Democrats. Watch.
Well, it just goes to show you their exact moral compass. I mean, they'll say anything to be able to win this. I mean, this is time and time again, lie after lie. You notice he won't say, well, I say this. We hear experts. You know, his house cat at home once said that this is what's happening with the Russians. It's disgusting. It's so phony. I mean, to me, it's without a question, you know, reads and smells like a witch hunt.
Right.
Lock him up.
Lock him up.
Lock him up.
Lock him up.
So, some folks are kind of saying, you know, listen, he didn't commit a crime. You know, but, well, he's not the president of the United States, but certainly if they asked him this question, did you all have any conversations with Russia? And this gentleman said, no, it's a lie, it's a witch hunt. I mean, the feds could get him on that.
Well, the important distinction that I kind of wrestled with yesterday was when we first found out that he met with someone and they didn't quite know who the person was going to be. It was a Russian lawyer that had Kremlin ties, but we don't know if they were there on, on behalf of the government. So that was an important distinction for me. This email saying he not only knew that this was they were carrying information from the Russian government. That was a game changer for me. So when this broke last night, I was like, okay, there was a little gray area, and now it's not so gray anymore.
Well, it's always the lie that gets people in trouble, right? That was sort of Nixon's downfall. It's always the cover-up, I think. And I just remember when I was interviewing witnesses, I would say, listen, lying to a federal prosecutor is a crime. It's perjury. 5 years in jail.
But that's to be
Don't
under
lie
oath.
to me.
Doesn't have to be under oath?
Yeah. But I would say that. And I got to tell you, it's, people are saying, well, this isn't a crime. I think it could be. It could be sort of a violation of federal campaign laws. But even if it isn't, what federal prosecutors are looking at and these investigators, they're looking at little pieces of the puzzle. There's never the smoking gun that everybody talks about. It's always those little layers.
Well, the email's kind of a smoking gun, isn't it? I mean, it says what it says.
But Russia. Listen, people, there's a lot of Russia. There's a lot.
I wonder if Donald Sr. is going to throw the boy under the bus, because the first thing they said was, my father wasn't there. He didn't have anything to do with this. He's capable of turning on his own child. I don't think so.
Yeah, but
I think loyalty means
what if Donald Trump Sr. was the one who told him to take this meeting, though? I have a really hard time believing that this meeting happened and Donald Trump
and nobody knew.
Didn't know about it. Now, of course, he knows everything.
What's interesting, though, is the Russian lawyer has come out and said she's not affiliated with the Kremlin, she's never worked with the Russian government, and that she never had damaging information on Hillary. She never had the information.
But there's more to that statement. Do you have the rest of it?
No, I'm not reading a statement. I'm just giving a summary. I don't have a statement.
Okay. All right.
But the truth is that if Donald Trump Jr. thought that she was at the time affiliated with the Kremlin and that a Russian source had this information, this opposition research, you have to wonder, the question for me is why you would go and you would A, trust those sources, and B, collude with the Russians to potentially make our election process.
Let me read her thing, though, because it's important to hear. In an NBC News interview this morning, the lawyer Natalia Vesnitska said Donald Trump Jr. asked her whether she had any financial records which might prove the funds used to sponsor the DNC were coming from inappropriate sources. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying, that he asked her.
Yeah, she said they were really into it, too.
The ask is very important under the law. But the other thing she talked about during that interview, if I recall, was that she talked about Russian adoption, and that had to do with the sanctions. If you are talking about sanctions, that is also a problem. So again, investigators are sort of looking at these little pieces of the puzzle. Listen, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there seems to be a lot of smoke.
The issue of collusion, though, just to point out, the issue of collusion, Sarah Huckabee Sanders did make one good point, I thought. She pointed out, this is not related to Donald Trump, that the DNC had coordinated opposition research directly with the Ukrainian embassy in the past. And I remember there was a Politico story in January. It talked about how Ukrainian government officials had helped Clinton's allies get damaging information on Trump.
What does that have to do with this?
What I'm saying is that what it has to do with is if you care about collusion.
Wait, stop.
You have to
Stop.
across the board.
Hillary Clinton is not.
We're going.